Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Edge Sports Network. Summer Series continues today. We got Ian Burke of Portland State men's basketball. Ian, thanks so much for joining us on the site today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Great to have you on. We're expanding out to the West Coast this week for the Summer Series, so it's always great to have another West Coast guy on the website here. So I want to start off. What are your first memories of basketball? I try and start real basic with the interview here. So, what kind of got you introduced to the sport, and what do you kind of first remember about your playing days?
So I had a hoop in my backyard, and my older brother played with all his friends in the neighborhood, and I wanted to be around my older brother and wanted to be
Hmm.
around those guys. So naturally, I just kind of started playing with them, and they were a lot bigger than I was, so I had to be as good as they were. So
There you go. That's always the best way to get better, right there. Playing kids, like twice your size. That's pretty
right,
much the way to do it. I know, you start your early days. You go into high school. You help your team to a 26-2 record in 2017, 2018. You were named your team's MVP as well as the 6A Premier Region Player of the Year. Going back to high school here, what do you kind of attribute that success to? How was your team chemistry? How'd you fit in the system? How'd that get you ready for
yeah.
college basketball?
Uh, that was one of the most fun years I've ever had playing basketball.
Hmm.
It was kind of an interesting journey at my high school. My
Hmm.
freshman year, I'm a real competitive guy, and I wanted to play um, either JV or varsity. But our school, our coach thought it would be a good idea to keep all those freshmen together
Hmm.
because he thought our class was pretty good. And at first, I was, frustrated I couldn't, push myself and see where I could play. Uh, but I had a lot of fun my freshman year, and it didn't surprise me at all that my senior year, when we had 6 or 7 seniors, I think, um, we just knew each other so well and had been
Hmm.
playing together for a while. And some of the guys played club out of uh, off season, so um, that was a really fun year. Our coach deserves a lot of credit too. He did a great job, kind of keeping us all together,
Hmm.
keeping us motivated. But yeah, that was a great year.
And off the court seemed to be a great year for you as well. You had a 4.0 GPA, so not every guy can do that. How do you kind of balance basketball and school, and maintain the good grades, especially for college too? That's always big. You want to have good grades, so colleges look at you and say, "All right, this kid can do it all." How'd you kind of balance those two things?
A lot of help and motivation from my mom.
Hmm.
Um, she wants me to succeed at everything I do, but especially in my work in the classroom.
Hmm.
And so that was kind of always my first priority. Um, and as things got more serious with basketball, club tournaments and stuff, she always made sure that my first priority was school.
Hmm.
And also during my time in high school, I didn't know I was going to play college ball, so I wanted to keep as many options open.
Yep.
So if I was going to land at one of those high academic places, I would be able to.
Hmm.
So that was really just kind of you know me myself pushing me, and my mom really helping me out.
Yeah, you obviously end up choosing college basketball, but that's one thing I find that a lot of guys, which this is good, a lot of guys are kind of focused on academics too because no matter what, someday, basketball will end, that career will come to a close. So it's always
Yeah.
good to have the degree, have the options open. And I know you started your career at Seattle University. So I just want to ask you, first of all, what kind of went into the choice of, choosing Seattle University to continue career? Second of all, how was the adjustment from high school ball to college basketball?
Yeah. So a couple of decisions went into Seattle. One, my family, my mom's side's from Seattle, so my grandma
Hmm.
was up there. My uncle, I grew up there a little bit, um, or I grew up going there at least. So it was a comfortable place for me. So I knew some people just right away,
Hmm.
and also the play style I think fit pretty well. Coach Hayford's teams shoot a lot of threes. They play smart, low turnover teams. Uh, and quite frankly, honestly, I didn't have a lot of options coming out of high school. I didn't have a whole lot of offers. I had an offer from Air Force. I was
Hmm.
talking to some schools, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do.
Hmm.
And so I decided to go to Seattle. And I think thinking back, I think that was still the right decision, even though I'm not there. I had a great year there, and I'm great friends with a lot of those guys to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And I love where I'm at now. So who knows how everything would have unfolded if I didn't choose Seattle. So I'm pretty grateful for that decision.
Exactly. I mean, I think you got really good experience your first year. You played in 21 games. I mean, average just over 8 minutes a game, which for freshmen, that's pretty good right there. Not a lot of freshmen do see the floor, so pretty good right there. And I want to go back to your first game ever of college basketball. I mean, you guys played against Stanford, so for your
Yeah.
first game, that's really really not easy to do. You saw the floor a little bit. When you checked into that game, I mean, what's the emotion going through your mind? You're playing Stanford. How'd you kind of feel in game one of college basketball?
Yeah, a lot went into that game because my best friend actually plays for Stanford.
Oh,
I grew
really?
up playing club ball with him, and we're talking about the game a lot. We both knew we probably wouldn't see the floor,
Hmm.
but still, it was kind of a special moment for us, I think.
Yeah.
And when I checked in, I was so excited. I mean,
Hmm.
this is a dream that I've had my entire life, especially to play in a place like Stanford's gym. It was just a lot of fun. I think I had my first point in that game, which
Hmm.
was nice. But yeah, that's a memory I definitely won't forget.
I feel like that's tough to open up your college career against a team like Stanford. I mean,
Right.
yeah, I mean that's no easy task. Just to open up your college career, game one is always tough, but to do it against Stanford doesn't make it any easier.
Right.
That's for sure. So,
Yeah.
that's definitely a cool experience, though. The fact you got to play against your friend too, not bad at all. I'm sure it felt a little bit like a pickup game, even though you're on the big stage there.
Yeah.
But I know you obviously mentioned you make the decision to head to Portland State. I mean, what kind of went into the decision to transfer? Was it a tough one to make? And I mean, how is that just like chemistry wise?
Yeah, it was. Deciding to transfer was the toughest decision of my life.
Hmm.
I wasn't in a bad place necessarily at Seattle.
Hmm.
I don't think it was the best fit for me personally.
Hmm.
But I love my teammates. I had fun at the school, was close to family, made a lot of friends. But I knew that this wasn't the path that I really wanted to be on. It
Hmm.
wasn't right for me. Um, and so I was nervous. I mean, I was a
Yeah.
player who, as I said, played in 21 games, but wasn't a huge contributor. I think I showed potential, but was a freshman, still had a long way to go. There weren't really schools knocking at my door. But one of the schools I was talking to was Portland State. One of my old teammates, Trey Wood, who's at Portland State now, was there, and
Hmm.
he spoke really highly of it. And I first started to talk to Jace, and I came down and visited, and I just really liked it. So
Hmm.
I think I owe a lot of that, a lot of credit to Trey in that situation, just because I, threw myself out there and he kind of helped me to find a spot, which I'm always going to be grateful for.
The one thing you like to see, in a college career is just progression over each year. And you got to see that with Portland State this past season. I mean, you played nearly 18 minutes per game this year, average 4 points, couple rebounds. So I just want to ask you, how's that kind of help confidence wise? You come into this new program, right out of the gate, you're playing pretty much 18 minutes per game. How's that help, not only with confidence, but just to build that team chemistry, especially as a guy coming into a brand new program?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, that's huge for confidence. Just
Hmm.
Coach Peary is a great coach, and I've never played for a coach that believes in me as much as he does.
Hmm.
Believes in all his players. I mean, if you miss a shot, the next one's going in, and he really means that.
Hmm.
And I think that helps the confidence of the player a lot. And once you kind of see those minutes on the floor, you see that this is the level that you belong. This is where you should be playing.
Hmm.
And you just got to work hard every day and try your best. And if the ball goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at the end of the day, all you can really control is your effort and whether you're staying in the gym. So
Hmm. And I mean, this season you're going to be an upperclassman. I mean, you're still young, going in your junior year here. You'd have to expect the minutes are going to go up again, production's going to go up as it did from your first year to your second year. So what are you kind of looking forward to this season with your team? I mean, you guys had a great year last year, 18 and 14, finished the season on a high note, 6 game win streak. What are you kind of looking forward for yourself and for this team as you enter your first season where you'll be an upperclassman?
um, I think the main thing that I'm expecting from myself this upcoming season is to increase my role as a vocal leader,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of be that as strange as it sounds, like that guy that's been there before. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm still young, but we only have a few returners. This team's going to be really new, and I think really talented. And I think I'll need to, despite or whatever my role on the court is, whether I'm shooting a lot or playing a lot, I think like me being there as a vocal leader for those guys will be really important in our success this year. So, I'm going to try to focus on that every day in practice, and yeah.
I mean, that's perfect. It might not seem like it to you, but I mean, now you'll be one of the veteran guys on this team, believe it or not. So I know it probably
Yeah.
feels like you just kind of came into the program, but now you're kind of one of these leaders now. So I've never asked any guy this yet on the site here, but do you have any kind of pregame rituals or anything you do before games to kind of get locked in, block out the noise? I mean, college basketball, it's one of these weird things where anything can happen on any given night. What do you kind of do to get focused and get dialed in before games?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a lot of these guys have their own kind of routine,
Mm-hmm.
and I won't go through it all for me. But one thing that I am kind of known for on game days is showering a lot.
Oh yeah.
I'll probably shower probably 4 times.
Wow. See,
On
I'm
a
with
game
you.
day.
I'm with you on that one. I shower like 4 or 5 times a day. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why, but
It just I get it. It helps me focus and meditate a little bit and just wake myself up, and I don't know, it just helps me get in that right mindset for game time.
see, you are like everyone. I don't know. Does everyone judge you for this? Because everyone judges me for it. They think I'm crazy.
Yeah, I get a lot of shit for it on my team, but
I get so much trash. Like people are just like, "Why are you doing that 4 times a day?" I'm like, "I'm gonna." I mean, I feel clean. It's like a reset. You got to do it.
yeah,
That's
not alone.
Thank you. Finally, I mean, I know we're across the country, but it's nice to know at least someone in the United States has the same mindset as me. So that's good to hear. We're gonna really make that part of the interview right there a focal point. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're settling into Portland State now. I mean, how's it been treating you, man? I mean, how's the community up there? I know you guys usually get over 1,000 people in the Viking Pavilion for each home game. So how's that atmosphere? How's the community? How do you feel kind of comfort-wise as you enter your second year with the program here?
I've loved it. Athletically and academically. I mean, I love the campus. I love how it's so close in the city.
Mm-hmm.
We obviously, as you mentioned, have great facilities. We get people in our gym, which is fun to play in front of a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely just like Portland, the city.
Yeah.
I like the people in it. I think we have a pretty diverse student body, which I like. And yeah, I'm hoping for another great year, really.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've never been out to Portland. Definitely a city I kind of want to check out. I know my dad went out there for business a few times when I was much younger. He went to some Trailblazers games. I think that's back when they had like Greg Oden. So the biggest bust of all time. But I mean, Portland definitely kind of a city on the come up now. I mean, you got the Blazers out there. You just got I've heard a bunch of great things about Portland. Definitely a really unique city. So it seems like a kind of a great place to spend your college years for sure. I want to end on 2 questions here. The first one is a pretty fun one. The second one you might have thought about it, you might not have. We'll get to that though. But if you could be coached by any NBA coach or, player, like you could say like LeBron James or something, any NBA coach or player, past or present, who would it be and why? Who would you kind of want to learn under?
That's a great question.
It's a tough one too. It's a tough one.
You said player too?
Yeah, it could be a coach or it could be a player that hasn't been a coach yet. Just anyone in general.
This might be a little weird answer. I may change in the future, but I think I'll go with John Stockton.
Wow, that is a good one right there. All right.
I think it's always impressed me how, leader of assistants. I mean, he's a 6'1", 6'2" white guy that isn't really that athletic. That learned to just be a monster on the court.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm not the tallest or fastest or whatever, especially in Division I basketball. But I think he could teach me a lot mentally about the game that I could really implement. I would love to play for John Stockton.
That's a great answer right there. I like, a lot of guys go LeBron, Michael Jordan, but John
Yeah, I don't
Stockton
know.
definitely a good one.
Yeah.
Definitely good. I like that answer. I'm telling you what, you're really getting on the good side of the site here. I mean, you shower 4 times a day. You're going with John Stockton. I mean, this is good stuff right here. Good stuff right here, Ian. I mean, to close up, if you could describe what basketball's meant to you in one word or phrase, just to kind of, a culmination of everything that the game has brought you. I mean, how would you kind of describe it? What has basketball? I know this is such a broad question, but what has
Mm.
basketball meant to you?
Um, one word. I'd probably say just one word to describe the whole experience is grateful. I
Hmm.
think basketball's uh, given me so much. Not even just getting my education paid for, but just like the experiences, the life lessons, the
Hmm.
understanding that sometimes when it feels like you're going in the wrong direction, you're going in the right direction. Um, it's just kind of the way life is.
Hmm.
Uh, and also, the relationships and friends that I've made throughout this whole process.
Hmm.
Uh, I'd say I'm just grateful for everything, and I realize I try to realize how lucky I am to still play this game. So I'd say grateful.
That's a great way to describe it. I mean, basketball means so much to so many people, especially now. Pandemic, sports are pretty much everything. I mean, I wish we had sports to be able to
Yeah.
watch to get us through it, but they'll be back before we know it. I mean, college basketball will be back before we know it. Best of luck in your next season here, with Portland State.
Thanks.
And Ian, thanks so much for joining us here on the site today. It was great to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Nick. Appreciate it.
No problem at all. I mean, we'll put your Twitter right down below so people can give you a follow, keep updated with your career. We'll also put a link down to Portland State's basketball page so you guys can follow for news and updates. You can follow Ian and the team this season, coming off a great year last year. But guys, thank you so much for joining us here on the site today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, we'll see you guys next time.